So what are you taking away from the guy that just followed that you're following here at the podium?
All those good things he said about me are very true. No, I mean, we could be here all day talking about what I've taken from Brandon, whether it's how to treat people around the building, how to build through the draft, free agency, throughout the entire football organization, training room, strength staff, you name it. Again, I'm fortunate that he put me in his hip pocket and allowed me to go along for the ride, during my 5 years in Buffalo. So I can't thank him enough for that opportunity.
Do you feel like those 5 years really prepared you for this moment?
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, I told people before, I came up on the personnel side, the traditional scouting path, as you will, and there's a lot more to the job than just sitting in your office and watching film for 12 hours a day. So Brandon came up the football operations side, and he can evaluate and he can scout, and he became the interim GM, really dove into the personnel side. So his exposure to the football operation and his background in that area, is really what I wasn't exposed to. So, those 5 years were invaluable in terms of learning how to manage and lead an entire football operation. Because, again, you're not sitting in my office for 12 hours a day. It's a revolving door. And, kind of the days of watching film for 12 hours, the uninterrupted, those days are over.
Joe, you talked about some difficult decisions you have to make in the process cap-wise. Where are you at in that process? When do you think you'll start making them?
Soon. We'll start making those soon. We're still meeting probably this afternoon into tomorrow, but it's kind of, if this happens, then this. There's a lot of contingency plans that weigh on some of the decisions that we're going to make. So we're getting together with some of the agents of the players on our current roster, and starting some initial conversations on different things. But sooner than later, we'll start making the necessary moves to get under the salary cap and start planning for the 2022 season.
You talk about making difficult decisions. You obviously have tough money. How open are you to potentially trading players, better players, Saquon being one of them?
Yeah, we're still working through that, but I'm open to everything. Like whether it's again trading player for player, I'll listen to anybody if it's trading a couple players. I'm not going to say the entire roster. We're open for business on the entire roster, but if anybody's going to call and they're interested in any of our players, I'll certainly listen. And again, we're in a situation where unfortunately we have to get under the salary cap, and we're not in very good salary cap health. And again, I'm not going to say yes to every deal, but I'm definitely going to listen, and I'll be open to the situations that are best for the New York Giants.
How are you? Have you come to a conclusion on Daniel's option yet?
Not yet. Again, we just got the staff together. We just met as an entire offense, defense, special teams, as an entire staff before we came to the combine. So again, we're still working through all that. We're fortunate with Dave's being a new head coach. We're going to be able to have a mandatory minicamp before the draft, so we're going to get to be around the entire team, the guys that are under contract leading up to the draft. And again, we have till May 2nd to make that decision, so we're going to be patient and go through the process.
Did you speak to the initial takeaways that you had so far about Daniel Jones and the quarterback that you picked up, and any similarities that there may be between Josh Allen and where you're trying to go?
Yeah, I don't think it's really fair to compare player to player, but as I said in my introductory press conference, I think Daniel's got size, he's got arm strength, he's athletic, he's a smart kid, he's in the building all the time. Last week, a lot of our families are out of town between the new coaching staff, and we got a pretty good morning workout crew, and it's 5:30 and Daniel Jones is in there working out, getting it in. So I've been really impressed with the kid. Again, he was drafted there for a reason. I'm looking forward to working with him.
Joe, do you feel competition in that position? If you have Daniel back, you want him to feel as comfortable as possible, or do you want to bring someone in who's blatantly challenge?
Yeah, no, we're going to bring in competition everywhere, but Daniel Jones he's our starting quarterback right now. And again, listen, he was injured last year, and they had a backup quarterback. Again, if we did the same thing with Josh Allen last year, I think the backup quarterback is one of the more important positions in the league. So it's something we're going to look at and we're going to address. But it's not just quarterback; it's across the entire league. I think building depth is going to be a priority. It may be a little bit harder early on, but as you continue to build your team over the years, that's how you're allowed to create more depth.
Joe, offensive line is obviously a need for this team. What do you look for when you're scouting offensive line? What kind of players do you like there?
Yeah, it's a unique position. I mean, I think some of it's the makeup of the guys. I think if you talk about a unit in terms of 5 offensive linemen, they all got to be working together and in sync. So, I look at the type of guys, we talk about smart, tough, and dependable. We've talked about that in our press conferences. I think you start there, and then, you move to the talent aspect. Do they have athleticism? Do they have strength? Do they have power? What type of run scheme are we going to be in? What are we going to ask them to do? But, I think it's, an intangible position just as well as a physical position.
Joe, you said that more often you miss on the person than the player. How valuable is this time here at Combine to get those face-to-face meetings?
Yeah, that's part of the reason I'm excited to be here, because we went through 2 weeks of meetings in February, and I was around some of the players at the Senior Bowl Thursday and Friday. We were able to do some interviews, but there's some players I just haven't been around. I haven't talked to them. I haven't had any interaction with them. So the fact that we're back here at the Combine, we get those 45 interviews where you get them for 20 minutes. It's been a great opportunity to get in front of the kids and talk to them and really get to know them. And I think that's really important. And we'll continue to do that through March and April as it leads up to the draft. But that's definitely a priority of mine to get around as many players as I can.
Joe, from the outside, it looks like you need multiple starters along the offensive line. Do you agree with that? And does that change your approach to how you go about looking for them? Like, you need guys that are more ready to step in immediately?
I think we have 5 healthy offensive linemen right now on the roster, so you're correct. So yeah, I mean, again, there's several holes that we need to fill, and again, through any avenue we can, free agency, trades, drafts, college free agency. You got to remember, there's 2 classes of basically the college draft. A lot of kids went back to school last year with the COVID year, so maybe there's a surplus of college free agents that can make your team. So we're going to look at every avenue that we can to upgrade the roster, and offensive line is included in that.
How long is this getting back 5 or 7? And have you sensed interest in the coach yet?
Yeah, again, I haven't been here 24 hours yet, so I haven't got a chance to talk to a lot of people. But yeah, we're open to moving back, moving up, staying as well. We find 7 players you like in the draft, and again, I can sleep good at night because 2 of those guys will be there, 1 at 5 and 1 at 7. So if there's a guy, again, we haven't been around them yet, so it's important to meet the kids, make sure they're our type of guys. And once we do that, if we come up with 7 that we like, I'm happy staying. If there's a guy we fall in love with, I'm not afraid of moving up, and I'm not afraid to move back. So we'll be open for business.
Joe, how hard? Not hard, but there is a challenge I would imagine that you obviously have a cap situation to clear up, but you also, I assume, are not going to go to fans and say, well, we're out, we can't do anything. So how calculated do you have to be for the players and free agents and
Very calculated, and that's kind of my initial comment in terms of we got to have contingency plans. So kind of the if-then scenarios, and we went through a lot of those. So if we don't get to where we have money that we can do something in free agency, then it's going to be hard. But again, back to my introductory press conference, we want to be able to be competitive today and also build for tomorrow. And I think if we're able to do this the right way, I think there's a real possibility that we're going to be able to do that. Absolutely. I think you got to do that every year. I think you're always going to evaluate the quarterbacks.
Would suggest, Joe, that maybe this is the best year to have a top 10 pick. I know obviously you have the 2 picks up there. What's your level of confidence that whether you stay in those spots or use them or something else that you can make the most of the value if it's not as strong as say last year's top 10?
Yeah, I'm confident in the players that are there. Again, where we are, 5 and 7. In terms of just the first round, finding 7 players that we really like that fit, position specifics, critical factors, and the type of football makeup and the type of character we want to bring in our building, then I'll sleep good at night. If it's too high to take a guy or whatever it is, that's fine. What I care about is what the people think in the building, and we'll do our due diligence and make sure, regardless, whether it's a deep draft or not, that we'll find somebody that we like and will be able to contribute for us.
Joe, how hard is it to get on the same page? You guys are moving fast with your staff. You guys need to go on this. How hard is it to get on the same page in terms of evaluating these people and what you guys are doing?
When you say these people, the players? Yeah, we're behind. Again, we just met as a staff a week ago as a full staff. Defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, their staff, the special team staff. But I'll say this. It's a blessing and a curse that, again, you're away from your family, which stinks for all of us, but a lot of the new staff members are moving from other places. So, it's morning, noon, and night. Guys are in there. We're kind of building our bond. I know Dave's has taken the staff out several times for dinner, and there a lot of laughter and offline conversations. But the coaching staff has been working really hard, not just on installing playbooks, but they dove into free agency with the names that we gave them, and then also some of the draft picks that we're going to speak with here. And when we get back, we'll have free agency meetings with the coaching staff. They've been great in terms of their evaluation and their ability to communicate what they're looking for, defensively, offensively, and that makes our job easier to go, find those type of players. So we're a little bit behind, but we're going to catch up real quick because the staff's been amazing. They've been working really hard, and we've got real good synergy right now between both groups.
You mentioned that it's an advantage to be face to face with the prospects. Is it also an advantage, in your opinion, to have your coaching staff, your coaches right there, also be there so that you guys can exchange ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when the coaching staff and the personnel staff are aligned in a pick, I think those are sometimes your best picks, and they're also the type of people you want in the building. So I think sometimes we throw some soft tosses maybe to the coaches, like, hey, this guy's pretty good, and they pay a little bit more attention to those guys at the combine, and now you get them on board. So we have the players we like, and then some of our job is, okay, how do we navigate get the coaches to where we are, and this is the start of that process. Some of the players we interview, we may know they're great kids, and then they come in and they blow it out of the water, and coach is like, yeah, I like that guy. Well, that's part of the plan too, getting them to where you want them to be. So I think it's very important for our coaching staff to be here, and I'm glad they're so immersed in the process, and they're excited to help us out from the coaching staff side.
Everyone, we got time for one last question. One last question right here.
You have a lot of draft capital, nine picks. How important is it to you, or should you potentially turn that into future capital?
Yeah, again, I'll be open to anything. I'm open for business. If somebody wants to move up and we move back or get a 2023 pick, again, I'll be looking to do what's best for the New York Giants 2020, 22, and beyond. So, again, compete today, build for the future, but I'm not.
Not a goal for you to get during the draft and make sure you end up with something next year?
I'm going to plan for staying there. I'm going to find 7 players that I like, and I'm going to know I can sleep good at night. And if somebody calls and it makes sense for us to move back, or if there's somebody we love, a couple spots up and we can go get them with the draft capital, I'm good with that. But we're going to keep all options open.